Now, everyone's aware that Southampton are well and truly in the mud. Rock bottom of the Premier League with only 9 points, they're on course for a record low. Today we attempt to save them using the majestic hoofball. And you won't believe what's to come as we turn a wide target forward into one of the most lethal players in the game. Right then, Southampton really struggling. Here's the Premier League table. This is an updated database, so we take over after 24 matches. So it's slightly behind a couple of fixtures, but we've got the real fixtures as well. It doesn't make pretty reading, does it? Look at the state of that season. So we're about to take over here at this Bournemouth game, 17th of Feb. So as of time of recording on the 27th, we're slightly behind the 2 matches against Bournemouth and Brighton, but we've got this amount of matches to attempt to save them. Now, to do this, we're going to take a different brand of football from what they're used to. They're used to the patient, slow passing play of Russell Martin, which didn't turn out well for him, but we're going to completely turn that on its head using hoofball. Now, you may have seen a longer video on the channel all about long ball football that we just played, and we're going to use that tactic today with a couple of tweaks specifically for Southampton. So that is the Willem hoofball tactic, which I used to good success in the Netherlands. We won the trophy, we were a constant threat, and the big teams didn't like playing against us. You'll notice there's a target forward as the main focal point, but there's also another one out wide. So they're going to link up together. Pressing forward's going to drop off a little bit to fill in these gaps, and then you've got a double volante to back up the attacks. And obviously the main thing that stands out is the much more direct passing. When we get it, we launch it forward. But I was keen in the Willem save to have players who are capable of passing the ball, so it's like long passes instead of just mindless hoofing up. However, today, after some suggestions on the original video, I'm going to change both ball playing defenders. Today we're going to go all out, no nonsense centre back. So they're just going to launch the ball forward, because when you've got a target forward like we have, it makes sense to take advantage. And that's where Paul Onuachu comes into play. He is massive, 6'7", 93 kilograms. He's a heavyweight boxer, but he's also got that jumping reach of 20, the strength of 17. He's literally the perfect target forward. His role in this team is absolutely guaranteed, but we do need someone to play on the wide target forward area. Now, the ideal player for this, funnily enough, would be a Paul Onuachu, who's maybe a little bit more mobile. So looking through the squad, we do have one player that fits the bill. This is Ross Stewart, a player that was signed from Sunderland at 6'2". As you can see, his main focus is he wants to be a target forward, but he can also play just off the striker here, and each position is basically another forward, wide target forward either side, or if he's going to play in behind the striker, a shadow striker. So for us, he'll be perfect as that wide target forward at 6'2" with a good jumping reach and strength. Let's see how he does. So when we take over, we've got, 14 games left to pull off a miracle. We're currently 10 points behind Wolves. Everton are probably out of sight in 26 points. Congrats to you, David Moyes. The first couple of fixtures, we probably need to take advantage of Bournemouth and Brighton, because then it's Chelsea, Liverpool, Wolves, another massive game. And there's quite a few home games that we need to take advantage of. But the end of the season is absolutely brutal with Man City, Everton away, and then Arsenal. Straight away into that first game of the season, and we had a great start, thanks to that wide target forward in Stewart. Now, Southampton have had problems at set pieces all season, and it was no different here as Bournemouth equalised. But then we got going again with Archer down the right hand side, doing the most of the work here, and then a very unlike hoofball tactic with a low cross to Onuachu. And then we got a third with Kamaldeen down the left hand side, big looping cross to Stewart. He holds it up, feeds it back in field, lovely stuff. Another set piece, we really need to sort that out. Led to some more problems as Bournemouth got one back on the 73rd minute, but we held on and we get our first victory in our first match. In the next match, we got passed to death by Brighton, but we did take the lead after 2 minutes. Big looping cross, there's Big Paul, perfect. However, Brighton then took over, dominating the possession. We only had 32% and we lose 3-4 in an epic. So next we had a couple of bonus matches, I like to call them. Chelsea and Liverpool. We took the lead through Stewart, he got another goal. A good effort there, we did a good little performance with 12 shots, but we couldn't quite get past Chelsea, who beat us 3-1. Then it was Liverpool, obviously coming into this one, I was not expecting a thing. We did get a decent goal from Paul Onuachu, who just mugged one of their players and popped it in, but we lose 3-1. But that's a game that's out of the way that we weren't expecting anything from. The big ones are to come. Those were the 4 players that were guaranteed to start every match for us. The keeper, Ramsdale, good quality. Then we've got the 2 target forwards, and I've got Suleimana playing down the left-hand side. Next, it was a real 6-pointer against Wolves. Massive this, we've got to win. And this is where hoofball came into full flow. We win the ball back, it's hoofed forward from the centre-back, flicked on from the forward to the wide target forward in Stewart. He looks up, picks out Big Paul, and then the second goal, look out for the wide target forward at the back post here. Big looping cross, there he is, booming header. The game ends 3-1. We do that with 37% possession, the total opposite of the way Southampton have been playing the last couple of seasons. Crystal Palace at home next, similar story, down the left hand side. And the fullbacks were huge in this one. Taylor with that floated cross to Stewart, the wide target forward, who picks up his own rebound. We actually raced into a 3-0 lead after 52 minutes, down the left hand side again. Another looping cross comes in, there's Stewart again. Now Palace did rally again from set pieces, which is really annoying me. But we were able to hold on in an epic. I mean, look at the possession, 36%, but look at the amount of shots we had as well. It's all about how you use that ball, not about how much of it you have. Next up, Tottenham away. Our best result yet. This is where the hold-up play of the target forward comes in. There he is, Big Paul. No one can get near him. He lays it on to Adam Lallana. It's a lovely through ball. Check out this cross to the wide target forward. There he is. That was 7 minutes, and just a couple minutes later, in the 11th minute, again, down that left-hand side, big cross to the wide target forward. Now Tottenham rallied, put us under a heap of pressure, but we hold on for a 2-1 win. So into that match, why I love the wide target forward and why it's such a good tool, especially for teams that are going to use crosses. There he is. As soon as the ball goes down the opposite flank, the left-hand side, he then turns into basically a third striker. We've got 12 Onuachu, 9 Archer. There are 2 strikers, but when the wide target forward sees the ball's not going to be down his side of the pitch, he then just turns into a third striker. Look at him, he's in the box now. He's basically alongside Archer. And now he sees his chance, dives into the box, and this is coming just for him. Bang! So at this point, we've had a pretty decent start. We took over the Bournemouth game. We've won 1, 2, 3, 4 matches, lost 3. So out of 7 matches, we've won 4 times. This is how it affects the league table. We've climbed off the bottom now, and we're just reeling Ipswich in, who are only 8 points clear of us, but we've only got 7 games to go. And this is what we've been using. The change to the no-nonsense centre-backs is actually a good one, so everyone who suggested that, props to you, because they're just getting it and lumping it forward. Next up though was Aston Villa, and regular viewers of this channel will know I have a massive issue with Aston Villa. And as this is a super updated database, they've also got Marcus Rashford, so this is going to be really tough. In fact, when you look at their starting 11, that's a pretty scary sight, with a front 2 of Malen, Watkins, Rashford and Asensio. Into the match we go. Our best chance to survive is always going to be scoring goals, but we do take some risks. And it didn't pay off here as Watkins played Milan in and they took the lead. However, our boys equalised pretty much straight away. Archer down the right hand side, you know who he's going to be aiming for. There he is. And then a mad couple of minutes. Lallana plays it down the left to Camaldine. He gets in. Then just 1 minute later, floated cross. Doesn't pay off this time, but we've got backup from the fullback. He whips it across. And then Onuachu's there again. Another set piece. Another goal. Annoying. But we managed to hold on in a massive victory over Aston Villa, and a deserved one as well. Arguably the biggest win yet. We're always going to concede goals because that's just the way we play. When you play much more direct passing, you give the ball away a ton, which shows by the possession. We have 32%, Villa have 68%, but we are plundering shots in. League table update, Ipswich get a point, goes to 30 points, but Wolves are still there on 29, so we're 5 points off, but we've played an extra game. And a little reminder on the fixtures to come, West Ham, Fulham, Leicester, these 3 matches are going to be absolutely crucial. And check out the wide target forward, Ross Stewart, 7 goals in 8 matches. Here's his form. He's been absolutely superb in that role. And the big dog up front, Onuachu, has got 6 in 8 as well. West Ham, Graham Potter's West Ham. Corner comes in, we're trying to take more advantage of set pieces at the minute. And we do, indirectly. And then just before half-time, the no-nonsense centre-back comes into play. He receives the ball here, smashes it over the top to the left winger. And then just 2 minutes later, a monumental mess-up by West Ham gives us a 3-0 half-time lead. Scratch that, make that 4-0 after 50 minutes. Oh my days. When I was talking about Paul Onuachu at the start, I did not expect goals like this. West Ham rally with 2 goals back, but we hold on despite only having 23% of the ball. This led us into a vital home game against Fulham. Now this was a different type of match as Fulham came and played quite defensively and sat back a bit, so we had more of the ball than we usually have, but we did finally make the breakthrough. Through you know who. So playing hoofball, much more direct football, in 11 matches we've got 8 wins, including 5 in a row. But massively frustratingly, the teams just above us just keep picking up points. It's Everton who are now getting sucked into it. They're 4 clear of us with 4 games left. The big problem we've got is 2 of our games are against Man City and Arsenal, and the other 2 are against teams down there with us but away from home. Okay, this one's going to be vital. Leicester away. We don't change a thing. We don't change a thing and they're playing so well. So we're underway and we know what to expect. We're going to sit back. We're not going to have any of the ball. And when we do get the ball, we're just going to lump it. Right, so far you can tell we're the form team in the league. We've got all the momentum. We're actually even dominating possession. I think this is the first time we've dominated possession. Right, 40 minutes gone. Bit of a nothing match so far, but we have got a chance here. I mean, I'm delighted and unhappy at the same time because it's quite slick football. That. At least it's going through the target forward, but that's like a Man City or a Liverpool goal. Half-time comes, we're completely dominating, and in we go again, only a minute into the second half, and there's the wide target forward on the end of it. Match momentum's with Leicester, so I'm just going to drop the mentality back a bit and just see this game out. We'll go to cautious, and we're just going to ask Charlie Taylor just to chill out a bit and the other full-back just to see this one through. But then an absolute disaster as Leicester come back from 2 goals down out of nowhere, and Aaron Ramsdale decides to dive over this shot. Jeez. Oh, we absolutely blew that one from 2-0 up. That could be a disaster. What's even more annoying is that Everton lost, so that 2 points would have got us closer to them. And next up, it's Man City. But at least Dean's enjoying it. I agree, Dean. I agree. Beauty versus the Beast. Southampton v City. Hoofball v Tiki-Taka. Horrible start. That was 3 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, City went 2-0 up thanks to Savinho. So half-time with 2-0 down. Absolutely in the mud. One step in the Championship. And then this happened. Out of nowhere, we completely ripped Man City to shreds with 30% ball possession. It's time to put some respect on the big dog's name. So despite that absolute worldie of a performance, we're still stuck in 19th position, 3 points off Everton. And that's who we play next. But this makes it a lot harder because Ross Stewart, the wide target forward, is going to miss the rest of the season. I am so happy that this tactic has translated into the Premier League so well. We haven't changed a thing. If I look at the data hub, we go to analyst report, you can see we've just used this 4-2-4. We've actually got clear-cut chances. We're actually worse off than the teams we're facing. And ironically, the only time I've changed it was in that Leicester game, and then we conceded 2 times. So I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. So this is the run we've been on. We took over at the Bournemouth match when we lost 3 in a row, but since then, my God. But it's so annoying that Everton just keep picking up little points. But if we beat them here, we will go on the same points as them, and then we've got a chance. So a massive game now against Everton. 0-0 at half-time, but then the hoofball comes into play thanks to the no-nonsense centre-back whipping it to Kamaldeen. Then Alana put us 2-0 up. Set piece time, big looping cross. We win the first header, in it goes. And we're in dreamland because after 88 minutes, another smash ball over the top. Sugawara gets in and he finds Archer. It's on, it's on. But this is where it gets really complicated. Now we've somehow got ourselves in a position. But as you can see, 19th 37, 18th 37, Everton on 37, Wolves on 38. Any of these teams can go down. Our big problem is the goal difference. Can we pull off the Great Escape? Right then, boys, we'll stick faith with this. We've got that horrible problem that Stewart's gone, so we're going to put Grombeck in there as well, but he is at least 6'1". Not an ideal wide target forward, but he can fill a gap. I mean, we've got ourselves in a position now, haven't we? We've got ourselves there. We've got a fighting chance. It's just unfortunate that we're against the best team in the league this year, and they've won 5 in a row. Annoyingly, Arsenal straight on the attack, but we get it clear. 15 minutes gone. Everton 2-0 up against Newcastle. Are you having a laugh? Right, so that means we need to beat Arsenal and Wolves need to not beat Brentford. Yeah, we are under the cosh here. This is going to take a miracle. Zinchenko whips it across. Saka, big save. Oh, Jesus. He's never given it. He's never given it. Oh, you beauty! Floated cross to Onuachu is what we need. Plays it short, in it goes. It's still 0-0 Wolves Brentford, and it's 0-0 here. Look, we're getting battered, but we've still got a chance. We just need one chance here. He teases them. It's Partey. It's Declan Wright. Newcastle have got it back to 2-2 against Everton. We've got 9 minutes left to go, but we just can't break Arsenal down, and they keep smashing us on the break here. It's killing me. Gabriel Jesus now. Martinelli. It's blocked. Very attacking has been installed. Come on, boys. So the season finishes and Leicester and Everton are the ones that come down with us. We were so close. So despite that epic run where we gave it our all and nearly pulled off the impossible, Southampton sacked me. Ungrateful. Over in La Liga, Real Valladolid seem absolute certainties for relegation. They only just got promoted last season, but as you can see, they are marooned at the bottom of the table and they're in horrible, horrible form. Something this man is really not happy about. So late in the season, I'm going to try and save them, but in a different way, because I'm going to try and use them strikerless. And you won't believe what's to come as we shock some of La Liga's big boys in the quest for survival. Right then, Real Valladolid, and these boys are my Spanish team. In fact, wait a minute. There we go. So we're using that updated database again that we got from FM Scout. Link will be down below. And it's quite similar to the Southampton situation where they are adrift. But I just noticed this. Look at that goal difference. Minus 43. Ronaldo, what have your boys been doing? I mean, we've got the real results and fixtures in, and you can kind of see where the problem's been. There's a 7-goal defeat to Athletic. There's 5 to Villarreal. It's not been pretty, has it? It's not been pretty. There's another 5-goal defeat there. They've actually beaten Valencia. And if you notice, in La Liga's table, Valencia are having an absolute nightmare. This is getting recorded just after the weekend's fixtures, and Valencia did just beat Real Valladolid, so that gets them out of there. But if you're looking for a rebuild, there's one right there. So it seems that in real life, normal formations have not been working for them. The 4-3-3s, the 4-2-3-1s, so we're just going to rip the script up and go strikerless. Now, I did take charge of Valladolid in the strikerless story over 5 seasons, and we actually worked it quite well where we got them up to finishing the Champions League spot. So I'm going to tap into that with the formation. So the first one I'm going to use is this one. I mean, it looks but ugly, doesn't it? We've got 1 central midfielder and 5 in the AM slot. But when we're in possession, the 2 wing-backs being inverted should jump in and be somewhat alongside the deep line playmaker. So I went in with that one for the first game against Valencia. Tough looking away match, but remember, they are struggling as well. And from the face of it, we're in a good shape there. As you can see, though, not much pressure on their central defenders. And when the ball comes through, that's too easy. There were some promising signs, though. When you're playing strikerless, you want your attacking midfielders to stay pretty high. And then when you do win the ball, you want to attack on the counter pretty fast. So when we win the ball back here, that's what we do. Shuki, through ball, direct, and there's the pace of Ndee. But we went down 3-1 in this match, and there's some things I'd like to fix. We were just getting a bit too exposed, and this lad was a bit lonesome, so we're going to use a different version going forward. And here it is. We've got 3 in that central position now, but a couple of inverted wing backs still backing them up because I want my volantes to run in late when we're doing the counter. I'm hoping it's going to completely bamboozle the opposition defence because in theory they don't have anyone to mark. First game I tried it was this game against Celta at home, Celta Vigo. It looks like a good option. Now we've won the ball back then. You can see how many players we've got back, but look at the amount of players that are setting off. So this is what we need to do. We need to attack fast. And if you stop it there, their defenders don't know who to mark. They're not marking anyone, but we're all attacking from deep. And that means our boy Ndee again gets in. Now the match ends up being a draw, but at least it's a point on the board and a little bit of progress. But next, a tough looking game away at Real Sociedad. All these games are tough, but the ones we need to get something from really, and we did through that through ball again. Latasa, who's a striker, playing shadow striker, and there's Ndee again. Now we are rolling. That's a massive win, and we only had 32% of the ball. Okay, a mixed start, but it's definitely better. You can see where we took over here against Valencia. So we've lost 1, we drew 1, but we have got that vital win, which is their first game that they've won since 12th of January. We've settled on this for now. It looks a bit more solid than the other one, but we're still getting teams on the break, which is why I'm keeping the attacking philosophy. Because you've got no strikers, you still need to get players up that pitch when you win the ball back. So I've got my team in, and when I do have a look at it, there's some good players. Florian Grilch here, I mean, it's a gutting news that he's got himself injured for basically the entire save because he was a decent little player. Amala looks like a dream volante for me though because he wants to be a central midfielder on attack, so I'm going to slot him back there and he's got everything I need for that position. And when you're playing strikerless, this boy is ideal because you need someone to break the lines who's fast. He's got acceleration of 16, pace of 16, and he's been the standout so far with 2 goals and an assist. This is the key position, or shadow striker. I love to play actual strikers in at shadow striker. Now, if you look at Latasa here, he only wants to play as a pressing forward, but he's got everything you need in a shadow striker position. At the minute, it hasn't worked for him, so I do have another option on the bench in Marcus Andre. We've also got Kennedy there, who used to be at Chelsea. He can play a number of positions. He's come off the bench so far. But like I said, for the shadow striker role, I've put Marcus Andre in for the next match, and you can see, with the attributes highlighted, there's no reason that he can't do that role. So I'm going to put him in there. I'm going to take it a step further. There's not long of the season left, but we're still going to do it. I'm just going to pop in some training to be a shadow striker, just so he knows that that is where we want to play him. So we've had an okay start, but now let's have a little look at the running. We've got Getafe next, and we really need to get something from that, because coming up we've got Atletico away, Osasuna, another must-win match, Betis away, and then Barcelona at home. The running, if you take away Barca and Atletico, is not too bad. First up it was Getafe, and unfortunately they took the lead. However, they went down to 10 men, and we capitalised through our boy Ndee again. He causes carnage, lays it back, and there's one of the volantes. So I did want to win out of that one, but it was nice to see one of the Volantes getting forward. And Ndee is just the key man here. He's absolutely vital. Next up, it was a free hit match against Atletico Madrid, and we went behind. But we got a penalty as well and drawed it level, and we were so close. It's the 91st minute when Atletico Madrid broke our hearts and got the winner. And then they stuck the knife in with another injury time goal, but promising. But then it was time for Osasuna. Now this is a must-win match, and after 23 minutes, it looked like we were going to blow it. But we responded really well after 28. And later on, we had a chance to win it with this penalty, but he blew it. Game ends 1-1. That could be a massive missed opportunity. Which leads us into this match against Real Betis, and we got a stunning 2-0 win, and it's actually us doing a double over them, so we must have something on them. But as you can see down the right hand side, Ndee's there again, and Shuki puts it in for the first, and then we scored the second not long later, 7 minutes to go. Again, the wide players are absolutely vital, and watch this for the finish. So we beat Real Betis 2-0 and dominated the match with only 27% possession, but Betis hardly any shots. So as we look at the situation, since we took over the Valencia game, we've only lost twice, we've got a couple of wins, and we are picking up some good results, but they were so far adrift when we took over, we're still 7 points off safety with Las Palmas. And oh yeah, it's Barcelona next. Another free hit match. Well, I thought so. I keep talking about Amaf Ndee, but he is absolutely vital, and this was his standout performance. Lewandowski replied, but time and time again we hit them on the counter-attack, capitalising on sloppy play, Ndee involved in absolutely everything. The greatest result we could have possibly got. And it got even better because Las Palmas lost, meaning the distance between the two teams now is 4 points. We've given ourselves a hell of a chance, and again, the pace of Ndee, absolutely vital to this. But we have pace on both sides. We've got Darwin Machis on the other side as well. The game we've got is Mallorca, who are having a pretty decent season, sitting in 8th in La Liga, so it's not going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be. Early days, but we've started pretty well. Mallorca have not had a shot yet, so they are struggling to break us down. And the first key highlight looks to be ours. Now, I'm just going to pause it there. Their centre-backs, I mean, he looks confused as hell. Look at him, doesn't even know which way to face, so maybe we are confusing them. If I pause it again, you'll notice that in field there, that is deep line playmaker with the two inverted wing backs next to him, so they are filling those gaps, which allows that and that Juric and Anar to be the Volantes, and they basically turn into like a second and third shadow striker. Let's see if this is going to work out for us. There is one of them, picks out Marcus Andre. All the key players get involved here. The winger Amat, he whips it across to the Volante, who's playing like an extra shadow striker, and that is a stunning finish. A couple of seconds later, the Volante goes close again, but we do have to be careful because Mallorca are coming back into the match slowly. Literally nothing has happened of note in this second half, which is ideal for us, and I think we've seen it through. An absolute dire second half, but that is a massive win. Now it's time to see what that does to the league table, because are we off the bottom at last? Here we go. So we've got Real Valladolid off the bottom now, and Alaves only 2 points off us. Only 2 points. We've got a chance here. And I didn't realise this, but check this out. We've got Girona next, but after that, we've got Alaves and Leganes. Back to the league table, who's above us? Alaves and Leganes. First up, Girona. Now, Leganes have just drew against Villarreal, so they go up to 35 points. However, Alaves have got Valencia, so hopefully Valencia can do us a favour. Turned into a bit of a nothing match. We couldn't really get much of the ball, but you'll notice our XG was up because we do make better chances. But it's still a very handy point, but devastatingly for us, Alaves smashed Valencia 3-0. So what that means is it's 3 points between us and Leganes and 4 between us and Alaves. But remember, our last two matches are those two clubs, so it's technically in our hands. So the good news is Las Palmas go down. The bad news is the loss to Leganes, which means Leganes are pretty much clear. And we're 4 points off Alaves. I mean, the phrase must-win match gets overused quite a lot, but this is literally must-win, because if we don't beat Alaves, we are relegated. Right, here we go then. Striker, we're in great form. Look at that. Come on, strikerless boys. Come on. It was clear from the get-go. Alaves were just setting up for a draw. They had very little ambition going forward. However, we tried our best to break them down. When they did try and come forward, everybody was marked up. We did it really well. When we win the ball back, that's the time we needed to get attacking and spring a trap on them going forward fast. Unfortunately, that was as close as we got, as we draw the match 0-0, which meant despite our best efforts, we're relegated. That seems super harsh. Alaves came for a draw and they got it. If I was going to do anything differently, maybe I'd move the shadow striker to striker, but that wouldn't be strikerless and that would defeat the object. But we go down, we've got one game left. To be fair though, look at the run we've done. So we took over at Valencia. We've only lost twice. These 0-0 draws have killed us. We finished the season with a big win at Leganes, typical. We climbed from the bottom with 16 points to 18th with 36. I think that's a hell of an effort. But at the end of the day, I have failed again. I've now relegated Southampton and Ronaldo's Real Valladolid. In Italy and Serie A, Monza look doomed. It's been a hell of a season for Monza and they currently sit adrift at the bottom of the table with only 15 points and in terrible form. 10 points from safety. So with only 10 games to go, I'm going to take charge and try and save them. And I'm going to try and do it in a completely un-Italian way by using an attacking front five. And when they got used to it, you won't believe what happens to my attacking Monza team. So welcome to Italy. This is Monza. Now, I've got a soft spot for Monza and their beautiful stadium. I love stadiums that are uncomplicated like that. But the team, as we look at Serie A, are pretty much certainties to get relegated. So I'm recording this on the 17th of March with an updated database. Link is below. We've got 10 games to try and get them to safety, but they're already 10 points adrift. Now, if you look at the season as a whole, oh my days, it has been absolutely brutal. Have they only won twice? Yes! Yep, they've only won twice all season. They currently haven't got a win since they beat Fiorentina on the 14th of January. Now, tonight, as I record this, they're playing Parma, which is going to be our first game. And that is absolutely vital because Parma are the team above us. In fact, when you look at the schedule, there's some fixtures coming up now. Parma, Cagliari, Como, Venezia. Absolute vital situation where we must get maybe 3 wins out of those to stand a chance, because then you've got Napoli, Juve, Atalanta. It gets a bit grim. So we're going to do something completely un-Italian. We're not going for that nice cultured defensive style football or even pretty football. We're going all out attack. This team need wins, and to win you need to score goals. So we're going all out attack. So I created a version of this tactic a while ago in the perfect attacking link-up story, and they had the front five perfectly linking up together. It looks wild, and it is wild, but it's our best chance, I think, to get us some points somewhere. So when I got to Monza, I'm actually surprised how much they're struggling. There's some good players like central midfielder Gagliardini, and then Pessina, who's a bit of an FM icon, and he's only 27 years old. Then you've got Petagna up front alongside Motta. There's got some really good players here. I'm going to shove Ganvola in there as well, just purely because he's 6'3". He's got great pace. I want a physical presence up there. And at the back, they've got some good defenders as well. The fullbacks are good at crossing, which is vital for this formation to work. Brindelli actually looks like a really good fullback with crossing of 15. That approach seemed to be the right thing as well. Against Parma, we started fantastically. The selection of Ganvola was justified as he scored the first, and then I knew the fullbacks were going to be vital. This bomb down the left-hand side, whip it in, and there's so many targets to aim at. And again, Vinato's got the ball there. Look at all the bodies in the box. In it goes. Lovely stuff. Off to the races. So team instruction wise, we're keeping it kind of simple. It's a balanced mentality. We don't need to go too attacking considering we've got half the team up front already. Another vital match now, Cagliari. Check out this move. So we're going to go front to back here. There's the keeper to the centre back to the right back. Next, Ganvola is the drop off striker, the target forward. So he drops off, meaning the 2 attacking midfielders can go past him. As he claims the ball there, Motta, the wider striker, goes wide. As he goes wide, the boys in the middle absolutely bomb into the box. He's backed up by the right back. There's Brindelli. He's got loads of options. Who's he going to pick out? He picks out attacking midfielder Vinato. Beautiful. And we carried on just like that. Mossa gets the second. Cagliari just couldn't deal with it, and we've got that height and presence in the box as well. It's another thumping 3-0 win for back-to-back wins. Absolutely loving life playing this system. That's the team I'm playing at the minute, and don't get me wrong, like Monza have got some good players on the bench. They've got Stefano Sensi there just chilling on the bench. Can't get a game at the minute because I've gone with this team. But so far we are 2 for 2, and it does mean that the gap at the bottom is now 5 points as Lecce and Verona are getting dragged into it as well. Next up was the cultured passing play of Como. Now Como have got loads of interesting players. They've been recruiting like crazy, and I wasn't sure what to expect here, but I needn't have worried. In an absolutely wild second half, we cut Como to shreds. We beat them 6-1. What a start we have had. With the other teams losing, that means we're only 2 points off here. Venezia up next, Petagna with the header. What a threat he is. So we've won 4 out of 4, which is ideal. Next up, it starts to get tougher. Our formation, up against a top team like Napoli, I don't think anyone expected a 0-0 draw. But that 0-0 draw has got us into 17th. We've got out of the bottom 3. Now, check out this start we've had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches, 4 wins, but the most surprising thing for me is 4 clean sheets playing that formation. So we're absolutely storming, but it is Juventus away next. So we fell behind, but Motta did equalise for us. But Juve did win with goals from Vlahovic and Milik. But look at the match stats. We are putting up a right fight here. But it's so tight down the bottom that it has dropped us back into 19th. And it's our third tough game in a row now because it's Atalanta. It looked like being a long day as we fell behind early to Scamacca. But what I've noticed is these teams playing free at the back don't deal with us very well. And we've got so many options up front that we're just swarming the opposition. It turns into probably our best performance yet as we absolutely smash one of the best teams in Serie A. And now folks, after just 7 matches, my front 5 Warriors have got the perfect chemistry link up. Look at those lines, that is a beautiful thing. So Ganvula is probably the one that was a surprise selection, right? He's not absolutely amazing, but he's the link man. He's got good jumping reach, good pace, and when you pop him in there, he's the one who drops off and lets the other front 4 just bomb on. So that result, with 3 games to go, has got us out of the bottom 3. Now next up is Udinese, which is arguably one of the easier games we've had. They're sitting in 10th. Their season's kind of over. Spoke too soon on this one. We didn't really play as well as we could, and we lose a game against Udinese 2-0. At this stage, that's massive blow. So we've got 2 games left. The next one is the crunch game. It's going to be Empoli at home. And as you can see, despite us losing that match, we are still just out of the relegation zone, thanks to the other teams losing as well. Empoli, 1 place above us. We've got to win this match because the game after that is AC Milan. So this team have played pretty much every match. My problem is now is Vinato. He's out for a couple of weeks. So I have to put a different player in him. It's probably going to be Capari. He'll jump in there. Kind of breaks up the chemistry, which is kind of annoying. But this is a huge, huge match. I made the late decision to chuck in Castrovilli into the midfield as well. He's on loan at the minute, so let's see what he can do. Check it out. So we're playing now. We've only just started, kicked off. But look how many players we've got in the opposition half. And we've got D'Ambrossi and the other centre-back, Calderola. That's it. Everyone else is just like, go. Early chance from a corner and Pessina gets it. I was sleeping, but it's 2 minutes in. An absolutely vital goal goes in. Comes from the corner, laid back to Pessina. Top boy, what a finish. Second goal's gone in. 7 minutes gone. We are absolutely swarming Empoli here. When we get the ball across there, they don't know who to mark. There's 6 players in the box. We don't win the first header, but Petagna's there to win the second. This could be my new favourite formation. It's absolutely ripping this league up to bits. Yeah, Empoli just can't get out. Every time they get out, it's just coming right back at them. And it's good to have a couple of centre-backs who are good on the ball because they're going to get loads of the ball. Look at them. They're starting off pretty much every move because everybody else is halfway up the pitch. Gagliardini is the defensive midfielder. So it's like them 3 at the back there. Keeper's getting involved now. He's even mocking them. Centre-back charging forward. Right back playing like a winger. There's Gagliardini just holding everything together. He gives him it back. I mean, we've got 5 up front, but the right back says, I want a piece of the action. Get in. Soon after, it was 4. Then we had to wait till the 70th minute to get our next goal, but it was Petagna again. He's such a threat at the back post. Game ends 5-1. Massive, massive performance. So that huge win puts us up into 16th, but we have played a game more than the bottom 3, so fingers crossed. If they lose, we stay up now. Cagliari and Venezia cannot catch us, so it's between us, Verona and Empoli. Now we've got AC Milan. Empoli's last game is Verona. Wow. I mean, how do I approach this AC Milan game? Because there's no point changing our approach because look what we've done. So we're not going to change a thing. I'm going to play Force on in there. I'm just really annoyed that Vinato is not fully fit because that beautiful chemistry is broken. So time for the AC Milan game. Kyle Walker down the right hand side. They've got such a good team. He whips it across and Raffaello put them in front. And after 17 minutes, it got even worse for us as Teo Hernandez laid it across. Bit of carnage in the box, and it's an OG. We fought back though, Pessina with a penalty. And unsung hero Ganvula scored our second. But AC Milan had scored 4. But check out the state of the match. We were fantastic. That meant it was all on this match between Empoli and Verona. Empoli were the team we just battered, and we need them to beat Verona, because if Verona win, we now go down. 24 minutes gone, Pellegrini down the right-hand side, lays it across, there's Giassi. That was enough to seal the win, which means finally, we save a team as Monza beat the drop by 1 point. Finally, we have saved the club. Finally, we've saved the club. And if you told me we'd save a club playing a front 5 in Italian football known for its defending, I would have laughed at you. So we took over here at the Parma match. We ended up winning 6 games out of 10. That's pretty good form. Pretty good form considering the start of the season they'd won 2 in about 150 matches. So we eat up that 10-point deficit and finish in 17th. Go on the boys. Monza saved. Get in. Who's next? Over in the Netherlands, there's a team that are absolutely marooned at the bottom of the table. It's starting to look like a hopeless task for Almere City, who are sitting in 18th, 10 points from safety. So I am going to try to save them, but not with a normal tactic. We're going to try and do it with triple liberos. And you won't believe what happens as we disregard defence and go for total football in a quest to stay in the Eredivisie. So welcome to Almere City, a club I'm not too familiar with, I won't lie. Now first things first, we're going to use triple liberos. Now normal tactics have obviously failed them this season, so it's worth a try. And this is the tactic we're going to be rolling with. You can see the triple liberos across the back. We've got 2 defenders and 1 support, so he's going to jump into central midfield a bit more. It's based on the Motta-inspired rec tactic, one of my favourites that we used 6-7 months ago, and it still works to this day. But this version, we drop that defensive midfielder and he becomes the wandering libero. Now we've got 2 attacking wing backs as well to provide the width, and up front we've got that double false 9 advance forward combination. Now more on the tactic later, but the big problem I've got is there's not many games left. Game 1 was Knock Breda. Now the good thing about the schedule we've got is there's a lot of games coming up with teams in and around us. So that was the first goal. Now check this out. We've got the ball, and as you can see, my liberos just start bombing forward. Look at that. There's nobody in our half. But attack is the best form of defence sometimes. And the second goal really shows this. This is Carbonelli, one of the liberos. The other 2 liberos are there. They just don't even care about the opposition strikers. As we go forward now, there's nobody there and everybody is racing towards the box. This is carnage. Everyone, all of my outfield players, as you saw from that clip, if we lose the ball and the keeper gets it, he just needs to pump it along and we are in the mud. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and that gave us a 3-0 win, and as you can see from the player ratings, they seem to do pretty well. Although goalkeeper Nordin Bakker is going to be earning his money. So back to the tactic. To give us some sort of stability, the 2 midfielders will both be on defend duty. Ball winning midfielders, so they're not going to venture too far. Quite often during the match, if you do go to use this tactic, you'll see the liberos going past them, either side, and especially down the middle with Carbonelli. Next up was Willem, a team down in 16th. This move here will show you why them 2 midfielders are so important. If I pause it now, you can see Van der Kamp is the deepest player. He's a central midfielder. The liberos are charging past him. Look at them all. But I think it's confusing the opposition as this leads to a goal. And that gives us our 2nd successive victory. Those 2 back-to-back wins have moved us up off the bottom of the table to 17th, but we're still 6 points from 15th placed Zwolle. And it was Zwolle we played next. I did say the schedule was quite kind to us and we took the lead on 14 minutes. And then we raced into a 2-goal lead. Zacharitis, so important down the left-hand side. I thought we were going to go 3 out of 3, but we got a bit sloppy. And Zwolle fight back from 2 goals down to level it up. And it drops us back down to the bottom of the league. So we're bottom of the league again, and we've got the small matter now of PSV away. Scary looking fixture for sure, but on 75 minutes, Hay did that. And then in injury time with PSV pushing for an equaliser, we only went and stole it. A stunning performance. I don't think PSV expected us to come to their spot with 3 liberos. And I think I've just wrecked PSV's title challenge, and down the bottom, teams around us seem to have lost because now we're only 3 points off Zwolle and 1 point off the playoffs with Willem. Possibly one of the most fluid tactics we've ever used. We've got 2 liberos who come to about there. Don't really go much further than that, although on occasion you will see them get on the edge of the box when we're really attacking. This guy just roams wherever he wants, with the fullbacks bombing on either side, as you've seen from Zagaritis, and then you've got 2 floating strikers. The defenders do not know who to pick up. The next game was a bit of a missed opportunity as we draw 1-1 at home to Go Ahead Eagles. Although that was disappointing, it does mean we're still undefeated. After 5 matches, we won 3, drawing 2. And if you look at the prior form from the team, I think the fans will be pretty delighted with what we've done. Pretty delighted is an understatement, especially with this next match against Heerenveen. Check this out. So this was going to be a vital match. I didn't change a thing from the tactic. I was thinking about changing a few things, but I just decided to let it roll out. So while I'm here, let me take you through the player instructions. Your keeper's not going to do a lot. Then your wing backs, all we're asking to do is shoot less, tackle harder, because they're going to be way up the pitch. That's the same for both wing backs. Your liberos, all dribbling more. Couple tackling harder, but not this man. I just want him to float around. Then you've got the natural tackle harders of the ball winning midfielders. No PIs on them. False 9, going wider. chuck in a few tackles as well, and you've got your advanced forward with absolutely zero. And this was one of those occasions where everything went right. Now this tactic is based around the triple liberos, but this was all the false nine show, in particularly Hansen. Heerenveen did not know what to do here. Let me pause it here on one of our attacks. That is right, our entire outfield 11 are in the opposition half and pushing to be in their box. We just absolutely blitzed them with our attacking fluid football. All the moves started with the liberos, and by 25 minutes, outrageously, we were 4-0 up. The game ends a whopping 6-0, and to show you the danger level of our tactic, our keeper Nordin Bakker, he scored an 8.4. That shot us up to a season high 15th. We are out of the relegation zone. God bless the triple liberos. However, disappointment followed with a 2-2 home draw to Sparta Rotterdam, including a 97th minute equaliser. And even more disappointingly, another home game blown. Fortuna Sittard come and beat us 3-1. I mean, how do you go from winning 6-0 away to then picking up 1 point from 2 home games? So now, it's all on this. Our last game of the season is AZ Alkmaar away from home. That's a tough looking game. AZ Alkmaar are one of the better teams in the Eredivisie. Currently they're sat in 5th and they need a result to make sure they get into Europe. So yeah, probably couldn't be much harder. And if you look at the league table, it's super tight down there and we currently sit in the relegation playoff. So as a guide, these have been the key players. The left back's got a truckload of assists. Zagaritis has got 3 assists coming from left back in only 8 matches. Hansen, creative striker, floating around, 5 assists. And the main goal scorer, Yassim, 8 goals in 8 matches. So if you get a good goal scorer, you're always going to have a chance. Now, interestingly, the liberos have not been great. If you look at Mamenji here, now he looks like a perfect libero. He's good on the ball, he's got good positioning, and he could play a left back or defensive midfield. To me, he's a perfect libero, but he is only averaging 6.79. The other, more defensive libero, Martins, again, Dutch football produces good technical players, so you've always got a chance with these type of players. And the reason I chose Carbonelli to be my more advanced libero, well, as you can see, he's a midfielder. He can even play in the pocket. I mean, if you're going to build a libero, he's pretty much perfect. Early signs were we were going to be under a bit of pressure this match, but we just started to turn things round. However, it was a disaster on 29 minutes as we fall behind to my old friend Van Bommel. We were living dangerously, as you can see. That's our philosophy. That's the libero, and there's literally nobody in behind him, which is all well and good. But when you lose the ball, the counter-attack threat is very, very real. Poku running through, but thankfully, the keeper saved us again. So a brave effort, we lose 1-0. Our great run ends with 2 back-to-back defeats, and that means we fail to rescue Almere City. I mean, we did the hard work. We beat PSV. We beat Heerenveen 6-0 and I just blew it at the end. So my record at rescuing clubs, well, it's a bit sketchy at the minute. The triple libero, it was oh so close. One of the great Italian clubs is in big trouble. With not long left in the season, could they actually be relegated to Serie C? To try and rescue them, I'm going to go classic defensive Italian football. But there's a twist later on as we flip it and go full on playmaker time. So welcome to Sampdoria. Now this is the real life database. I'm a couple of weeks behind real life. So we are 16th, 29 games to go. At the time of recording, I think they've played 31 matches and I think they're a point better off. A quick look at the squad shows you that not only is it absolutely massive with nearly every position covered, but they've also got about 99 players on loan. Loads of players on loan. Some standouts include Remy Udine from Lecce, but they've also got young players in from Inter. It's a bizarre transfer setup they've got. And with that big squad and all those loan players, they were expected to finish as high as second in the league at 4-1. But as we know, that's not how it's panned out this season. So what we're going to do to try and survive is anti-football, totally defensive. So I thought about going full on Catenaccio or even Route 1, but we're going to create our own. One thing's for sure though, whatever setup we do, we're going to have it on defensive mentality. So the first setup I came up with is a flat back 5 with no nonsense centre backs all over the place. I'm not sure if it's going to work. There you see it, as basic as you like with a flat 5, 2 central midfielders on support and 2 inside forwards supporting a target forward. And one thing you will notice is the complete lack of team instructions. Whatever I do here, that's going to stay the same in this survival battle. Our first game was Reggiana and we got off to a good start with a Barini penalty. It got even better after 16 minutes, another set piece, and the header went in from the centre back. Now we held that lead till the 85th minute before a mistake led Reggiana to get back into it, but we held out for the win, winning 2-1, only having 38% of the possession, and as you can see from the match momentum, pretty defensive stuff. Next up, it was another fallen team from Serie A, Frosinone, who are also struggling. Interestingly, one of our key men so far has been the striker, Massimo Coda, who is 36 years old, and he has been around nearly everywhere in Italian football, and even venturing as far as Slovenia. And he got off the mark in the next match. It was another quick start by us, just like the last match, but this time after 5 minutes we were 2-0 up again. They got one back, but as you can see from the match momentum, yet again we were under pressure most of the match. Now at this point all looks good. We took over at the Reggiana match on the back of 3 draws that the previous manager had, so they were doing alright. But these 2 matches, we are under a lot of pressure, so I'm just wondering whether or not we stick with this for the remainder. However, it has shot us up the league table to 11th with 37 points, 6 clear of that relegation area. Next up, it was high-flying Spezia, and yet again we took an early 2-goal lead, but this time we really did get battered before Spezia got that equaliser in the 83rd minute. Yeah, that's not pretty. Yet another 2-2 draw in the next match against Cittadella, and a disappointing 0-0 against Juve Stabia, where we just didn't create a thing. Now you might think I'm crazy because we are undefeated, but I can just see signs that we're about to lose, so I've changed it up slightly, just slightly. Literally all I've done is move one of those centre backs up into the half-back position, meaning he'll start there, and when the moves get going, he'll drop back. My thinking is that will push up the full-backs naturally a bit more, knowing they've got 3 people behind them. And in the next match we were under pressure again, but this time we were a lot more ruthless going forward. And noticeably the full-backs were getting high up, with Di Paolo, the right wing-back, getting high up. And we got our best win yet, 3-0. And that victory meant we've actually done this challenge and cemented Sampdoria's place in Serie B. So can I claim victory there by saying that I've saved Sampdoria, or is this the easiest challenge we've done so far? Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to continue. So I'm going to play these 3 games out, despite us being safe, still sticking with this defensive mentality, and then next season we attack the league title. However, there's going to be a big change. So if you follow any Italian football, you'll know that Andrea Pirlo was the manager of Sampdoria. 3 games into the season, they got rid of him. When you think of Pirlo, you think of that beautiful playmaking Roman style football. So that's what we're going to do for next season to try and get them up. And it might be a good job we're going to do that approach, because in the last 3 games we could not get a win for love nor money. Defeats to Cremonese, Catanzaro, and finally a disappointing defeat at home to Salernitana meant we rounded out the season in 14th, just 2 places above the relegation playoffs. And remember, most of this squad will leave us because nearly all of them are on loan. Now, because I've only got a 1 season hit, next season I'm going to make it even harder for myself by giving transfer responsibilities my director of football. He's going to make all the transfer signings, so we're going to come back after pre-season and see what he's given us. This could be a bad decision. Over to you, Pietro Arcadi. He does have judging player ability of 14 and potential of 15, so let's see what he can come up with. As for tactics for next season, to get that Pirlo-esque flair and vision going on, I'm quite tempted to use the old Romans tactic we used with Ajax, with some tweaks. And just like that, we're back in late July, and the first thing to notice is there's not many players on loan now, and the squad is significantly smaller. But we're still fancied in 3rd at 15-8 behind the relegated Monza. So let's see what he has been up to. Now I'm noticing a lot of these players were already due to come through loans transferring into permanent moves, such as all these boys from Como. However, one signing I am excited about is the free transfer pickup of Gianluca Gaetano. He's got him in from Napoli. That's a pretty good signing. Well done, sir. There's more transfers to come, and he's still got a bit of time to get moving as well. So he's done all right. But for now, we're going to see if we can get a flair-based playmaking tactic rocking. So initial thoughts with the players we've got available to us, it might look something like this. Basically, every player in there, other than a couple, you could class as a playmaker. Got to keep the centre-backs solid as they can, because they're going to have a lot of work to do. One out-and-out winger, which is Pedrola, who was away on loan last season, so he's a big bonus to have him back. And the double pivot looks funky. Register and Roman playmaker. Let's see if it works. So signs were good in the first game of the season. Coppa Italia away at Udinese from Serie A. We played them off the park, and it carried on into the first Serie B game of the season against title favourites Monza, with new player Gaetano banging in a 93rd minute winner. But you can't say we didn't deserve it. So things started to cook here with the way we're playing. We went behind against Modena. Let's not panic, because after that we bagged 5 away from home. Some beautiful passing football as well. If I pause it there as well, you can see We just kind of leave the two centre-backs to sit back and everyone else just kind of does whatever they want. And it's super fluid. So when the forward gets the ball up front, Coda there, then you've got guys going past him either side, taking his place up front. There you go, Barini, Gaetano. Then he goes back up front. Again, it's just the two centre-backs at the back, causing absolute havoc there. Director of Football also treated me to two new ball-playing centre-backs, Alessandro Fontanrosa from Inter Milan on loan, and 95-year-old Brazilian defender Dante. Now this style of football is beautiful to watch, but sometimes it will leave you open, such as here. In this game against another good team, Venezia, we were 3-1 up, but we just kept doing our thing and conceded 2 late goals. Despite that though, the start of the season has been electric, as we sit top of the league after 7 matches, and we've already scored 20 times. This is the complete opposite to the way we rescued the club last season. And shout out to 36-year-old veteran striker Coda, who scored 5 goals in 5 matches. I've just got to manage his workload. He's at the top end of the pitch, and I've got 41-year-old Dante at the back. It wasn't until late November that we lost our first match, but we responded really well, and overall this season, pretty spectacular stuff. At the halfway point, we're sitting top of the league, having only lost that 1 game. And nobody is creating more chances than our roaming playmaking team. So going well, halfway point of the season, but this means another transfer window, so will our director of football give me a little few more gems to get us over the line? He ended up just giving us a couple of loan players, Nicolas Galazzi from Brescia, who could give us backup down the right, and he's a pretty decent player, and midfield cover in Andrea Giron. And obviously the first game after the winter break, we lost our second game of the season. But not to worry, because we responded really well. Now it's just a question whether this roaming tactic can get us back to Serie A. So it's deep into the season now, but we had a bit of a shaky time here. Look what happened here. Monza beat us 4-0, which fair enough can happen with this formation against a good team. But then Spal, Bari, Padova, Palermo, Spezia. Horrible run of 6 games without a win, but we've just got it back rocking now, which means with 4 games to go, we're second, which I'll take, but we're only 4 points clear of 3rd place. Scary little run-in coming up. P.S. Dante's now 42. The crucial match was against 3rd place Venezia, and thankfully our boys did what they do best. 2 early goals, both utilising the roaming play from all the players, meant that Venezia couldn't deal with us. We scored a 3-1 win, and that's got Sampdoria back to Serie A with a game to go. Now that tactic's a lot of fun. I'll put the player and team instructions on the end of the video. Obviously you can make it more solid, but if you just want to try something different, give it a go. Now, for the last game of the season against Cittadella, I'm going to play the defensive tactic for all time's sake. So in goes the 4-3-3 Def Doria, and the beauty of this is these players can all fit into it perfectly. And in a drab affair, it was quite fitting that a defender was the guy that scored our equalising goal. So we finished in the automatic places in second. Didn't want any part of that playoffs. We don't have to do it. Sampdoria back in Serie A.